Hello, this is the Mega Construx Halo Shields of Requiem Lance set, basically a Covenant battle pack. Of course, there had to be some Elite Minor representation in this set, but there's only one of them here. This is it for this configuration, and I like the color that's chosen throughout this set for the armor. I think, and this is just purely personal opinion, completely subjective, but I think that if I could only get one armor color for Covenant units, it would be this, because while it's not as purple as some of them, it doesn't have as much red in it as some, or as much magenta. There is some there, and it's iridescent. It's kind of an indigo color, but then there's just a little bit of really fine magenta highlighting that you get depending upon how the light hits it. And that comes off the very fine particles that are embedded into the plastic to give it its color. And I think it's just a really nice effect, and it's a unique color. You don't see a lot of things made in this kind of color just in general in life. So it stands out to me, and it's purple enough and yet blue enough to kind of fit into any era. I think it just it says Covenant to me for units and armor in general. This second Elite is a Ranger, and I really liked the Rangers when they first popped up in Halo 4. It's a cool idea, kind of a cool look. I don't think that these will be as popular amongst collectors as even a Minor. It's just the more common arrangement. The weapon here does not match the armor in color. You got the Storm Rifle. I believe this is the first time Storm Rifle has been introduced in this color. It's kind of the metallic burgundy or kind of maroon, I guess, something in that range. I like that color as well for weapons. I don't like to see too much of it, but every once in a while it's a nice thing to get. Yeah, there's not much going on for paint applications on this one. It's just limited to basically the two colors added to the helmet, but I still think it's a good looking figure. Next up is a second generation style of Jackal. I personally still very much prefer the original design of Jackals, but that's not Mega's issue. This is correct to what's been done in universe. And I think that's a pretty good looking head. I mean, the white paint applications for the teeth here aren't perfectly lined up. You can see that's actually masked in and not hand applied anymore, but just had a couple of little bits that went off, but overall it's pretty good looking. I think that they have a good mix of the speckling into the material used to represent the flesh tone there, and the eyes look pretty good. And again, the armor using that same color works for me, and it comes with that classic shield piece. That mold has been around for a while now, and I'm glad they're still using it. It looks pretty good. It's a little bit difficult to get an ideal pose with these figures, even as articulated as they are, but it's not bad. I think it's about as good as you could ask for out of something of this small scale. Speaking of small, here's the fourth figure, just a grunt with a fuel rod cannon. I still find it funny that in this franchise they give fuel rod cannons to grunts. Of course, sometimes it's not funny when you're looking at eye level and above, or you're around small rocks or dense foliage, and you don't really expect grunts to be a problem, and then you come around a corner and you get a fuel rod cannon shot to the face, or maybe a couple of them. Then it's not funny at all. But anyway, fuel rod cannon does not have any paint applications. That's too bad. I think it's a really nice looking mold that they came up with for this Halo 5 style fuel rod cannon. I personally prefer older designs, just pure nostalgia. I like how this one handles in game though. But this is kind of intended to be more of a Halo 4 set overall, so this feels a little bit extra just out of place to me. I would have appreciated it more if it had some paint application on it. Would have made it a little bit more special, and would have helped me to get past the mismatch there with the era and all. But otherwise, it's a fine grunt. For the builds and terrain, they give us again, Halo 5 style plasma turret. That's a brand new mold for the kind of sheath for it, the exterior, and then it has within it a firing actual projectile launcher that works pretty well. It's integrated pretty well. You can angle this up and down a bit. You can turn it around fully and it fires. That's cool. Yeah, this definitely works for me. It's a nice looking little build. I just don't appreciate the made in China stamp that faces directly towards us there. I haven't seen this color for this particular foliage piece before. It may have been done in other series. It probably was, but it's kind of cool to get that translucent color for it. And then they just give you a barrier here, which also has a clip on the base, actually a couple of clips that can be used to hold on to the projectiles, so you always have a place to hold your spares, or you can just leave them out. It's entirely up to you, but this barrier piece continues to look great to me with the printing going through it. Yeah, I like them. Overall, I feel like this is a pretty well chosen selection of figures for a battle pack. You know, even though they have changed the packaging here to be smarter for shelf placement, it's still the traditional style of figure pack. And I think the ratio of 2 elites to 2 smaller units was good. Good to get a jackal in there, good to get a grunt in there. Makes it easy to get multiple of this set and end up with still a scene that looks appropriately balanced. I like the accessories. I like the small builds. I think they work out pretty well. They themselves are massable. Really the only thing that I didn't like here was the mix of Halo 5 and Halo 4 stuff. Obviously that's nothing new. Mega very, very regularly, almost always mixes things from different eras, and that's just partly a practical necessity because they're not able to keep all the molds going and in use and in circulation at all times to always be producing sets that are completely matched with all the items that are included within them. And most of the time it doesn't bug me, but this time it did a little bit, and I don't know why. Anyway, that's it for my look at this set. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.